Every night, your body makes a decision to burn fat or store it, and you're not even aware it's happening. You close your eyes, your breathing slows, your muscles relax, and from the outside, it looks like nothing is going on. But inside, your body begins a complex sequence of events that will quietly determine whether your belly fat decreases or stays exactly the same. Most people believe fat loss happens during the day, during workouts, during diets, during effort. They think the hours they are awake are the only hours that matter. But what if the most important decision happens when you are completely unconscious? While you sleep, your body runs something like a hidden program. Hormones begin to rise and fall in a very specific order. Signals are sent between organs. Energy pathways shift from one system to another. And at a certain point in the night, your fat cells either open or remain locked. If they open, your body begins to release stored fat and use it as fuel. If they stay closed, your body continues relying on sugar and protects that stored fat. And here's the part most people never realize. This process is not guaranteed. It doesn't happen automatically just because you went to sleep. Your body must reach the right internal conditions for fat burning to begin. And if those conditions are not met, your body will default to storing fat instead. This is why two people can eat the same meals, follow the same routine, and still see completely different results. Because the real difference is not always visible during the day. It is hidden in the hours of the night, when your body decides what to do with the energy it has stored. Tonight, that same process will happen again. The only question is, will your body switch into fat-burning mode, or will it stay in fat storage mode all night long? If you've been trying to lose belly fat and nothing seems to change, it's very easy to turn that frustration inward. You start to believe you're not disciplined enough, not consistent enough, not doing things correctly. But the truth is much simpler and much more relieving than that. You are not the problem. Your body is not failing you. It is following signals. Your biology is precise. It responds to timing, to hormones, to internal conditions that most people never think about. The issue is not that your body refuses to burn fat. The issue is that it has not received the signal that allows it to begin. Modern life has quietly changed the environment your body operates in. Late nights, artificial light, constant stimulation, irregular eating patterns. These are all normal now. But your body was not designed for this pattern. It was designed for a rhythm where night meant darkness, stillness, and a clear shift into recovery mode. Instead, your body is often entering sleep in a state that still resembles daytime. Slightly alert, slightly stimulated, slightly fed, and in that state, the internal process that leads to fat burning becomes delayed or completely blocked. You've probably heard that fat loss is about calories, that if you eat less than you burn, everything should work. But your body doesn't operate like a simple calculator. It doesn't just subtract energy. It decides how to use it based on hormones. Another common belief is that sleep is just rest, something passive that helps you recover energy. But sleep is not passive. It is one of the most active metabolic phases your body goes through. It is when your body decides whether to hold on to energy or release it. And here is the key idea most people miss. Your body must switch from burning sugar to burning fat. And that switch does not happen automatically just because you are asleep. It requires the right internal signals. If those signals are missing, your body stays in the same mode all night long, waiting for a condition that never arrives. And this is where the real interference begins. Because there are forces working quietly in the background that prevent your body from ever making that switch. They don't feel dramatic. They don't look like obvious mistakes. But night after night, they keep your body locked in the wrong mode. The first of these forces is insulin. During the day, insulin helps manage the energy from the food you eat. But at night, its role becomes very different. If insulin is still elevated when you go to sleep, your body receives a clear message. There is still energy available. There is no need to burn stored fat. So your fat cells stay closed. Think of insulin as a gatekeeper standing in front of your fat stores. As long as it is present, the gate does not open. And even small things can keep it active longer than you expect. Eating late, snacking before bed. Even a light meal close to sleep can delay the moment when insulin finally drops low enough, but insulin is only part of the story. The second force is cortisol, the hormone that keeps you alert, focused, and ready to respond. During the day, cortisol is necessary, but at night, it is supposed to fall. It is supposed to step aside so your body can enter deeper stages of sleep. When cortisol stays elevated, even slightly, your body never fully relaxes. It remains in a low-level alert state, and a body that feels alert does not release stored energy easily. It prepares. It protects. It holds onto resources instead of using them. Now imagine these two forces working together. Insulin keeps the fat locked. Cortisol keeps the system alert. And between them, the exact condition your body needs to begin fat burning is delayed again and again. This is why it's possible to do everything right during the day and still see no progress. Because the night, where the real decision happens, is quietly being controlled by signals you don't see. And unless those signals change, your body will continue doing exactly what it has been doing, storing instead of burning. Now imagine the entire night unfolding inside your body like a quiet sequence, each phase moving you closer or further from fat burning. In the first 1 to 2 hours after you fall asleep, your body is still finishing the day. It is processing the last of the energy you consumed. Glucose is still available. Insulin, although lower than before, may still be present. From your body's perspective, there is no urgency to use stored fat yet. So fat burning remains off. During this phase, everything is about stabilization. Your body is clearing, balancing, preparing, but it is not yet switching. Then, as time passes, something begins to change. Your liver starts using up its stored glycogen. This is your short-term energy reserve. As it decreases, your internal environment begins to shift. Insulin drops further. The signal that new energy is coming in starts to fade. This is the transition phase. Your body enters a moment of uncertainty. It must decide what to use next. But it doesn't immediately jump to fat. It waits. It checks. It looks for confirmation that no new energy is arriving. Only when that confirmation is strong enough does the next phase begin. Then, somewhere a few hours into sleep, your body reaches a critical point. This is where growth hormone rises, not slowly, but in powerful pulses. This hormone sends a clear message throughout your system. Repair, restore, and begin releasing stored energy. At this moment, your fat cells respond. They begin to open. Stored fat, which has been sitting quietly, protected, begins to break down and move into your bloodstream. Your body shifts from relying on sugar to using fat as fuel. And for the first time that night, real fat burning begins. This is the window that matters. This is where visceral fat reduction actually happens. Not during your workout, not during your meals, but here, in this quiet internal shift that most people never notice. But this window is fragile. If something disrupts it, If cortisol rises, if sleep is broken, if signals change, your body can move backward. It can return to a state where fat burning slows or stops. So the entire night becomes a journey toward this moment. And every factor, your habits, your timing, your internal state, either helps you reach it or keeps you just outside of it. At first, when you begin to change the conditions that influence this process, it doesn't feel smooth. It doesn't feel like immediate progress. In fact, it can feel slightly uncomfortable, even confusing. You might notice that you feel a bit hungrier in the evening than usual. Your body, which has been used to constant access to glucose, starts to react when that easy supply is no longer always available late at night. You might find your sleep feels lighter in the beginning, or that you wake up briefly during the night without fully understanding why. And this is where most people make a mistake. They assume something is wrong. But what you are experiencing is not failure, it is transition. Your body has been operating in a pattern where sugar is the primary fuel source. It expects it. It relies on it. So when that pattern begins to change, your system reacts. Not because it is breaking, but because it is adjusting to a different way of functioning. This is the worse before better phase. Your body is learning how to let go of constant glucose dependence and begin accessing stored fat more efficiently. But like any adaptation, it requires repetition. It requires time. It requires your system to experience this shift more than once before it becomes comfortable. At the beginning, your body hesitates. It delays the switch. It signals discomfort to pull you back into familiar habits. But if you continue, something subtle begins to change. After a few nights, your body starts to recognize the pattern. It becomes less resistant. The transition from sugar to fat becomes smoother. The internal signals align more easily. What once felt difficult begins to feel natural. This is adaptation. Your system is not just reacting, it is learning. It is becoming more flexible, more efficient. The switch that once took longer begins to happen earlier. The fat-burning window becomes longer and more stable. And the most important part is this. The discomfort you felt at the beginning was never a sign to stop. It was a sign that your body was stepping into a new state. Not worse, just unfamiliar. As this new pattern settles in, the changes begin to show up in ways that feel subtle at first, but over time become undeniable. Your body starts responding differently, not just during the night, but throughout the entire day. You wake up with a more stable kind of energy. Not the urgent need to eat immediately. Not the heavy, sluggish feeling that comes from poor metabolic balance, but something calmer and more controlled. It feels like your body has already taken care of something important while you were asleep. Inside, your hormonal environment has shifted. Growth hormone is now being released more consistently during deep sleep, supporting fat breakdown and repair. Cortisol follows a more natural rhythm, dropping at night and rising in the morning as it should. Insulin becomes more efficient, allowing your body to use energy properly instead of storing it unnecessarily. And slowly, your body composition begins to change. Visceral fat, the kind that sits deep and resists most efforts, begins to reduce. Not dramatically, not overnight, but steadily. Your belly feels less tight, less heavy. There is a gradual shift that happens because your body is finally accessing the energy it has been storing. But even as these changes begin, a different kind of resistance can appear. Not from your body, but from your thoughts. You might start to question whether something so simple can really work. You might feel the urge to do more, to push harder, to control every detail. Or you might worry that focusing on sleep means you are neglecting other important factors. These fears feel reasonable, but they are built on misunderstanding. Your body is not designed to burn fat under constant pressure. It is designed to do it when conditions are right. And sleep is one of the most important conditions of all. You are not doing less. You are allowing more. You are not losing control. You are removing interference. And when you see it this way, the process becomes simpler. Not easier in effort, but clearer in direction. Your body is no longer something you fight against. It becomes something you support. At a certain point, the shift becomes deeper than just what your body is doing at night. It changes how you see yourself in relation to the process. You stop thinking of yourself as someone who is constantly trying to lose fat, constantly trying to force results through effort alone. Instead, you begin to understand that your body has always been following a system, one based on signals, timing, and internal balance. And once you understand that system, everything feels less random. You start to notice patterns you couldn't see before. You recognize how different nights create different mornings. You feel the difference between a night where your body fully reached that fat-burning state and a night where it didn't. And without forcing anything, your choices begin to shift naturally toward what supports that process. This is where a new identity forms. Chiku, you are no longer someone chasing fat loss. You are someone who understands your body's internal timing. Someone who knows that hormones are not obstacles, but messengers. Someone who works with your biology instead of constantly pushing against it. From that place, a different version of your future becomes clear. You imagine waking up not just lighter, but more stable. Your energy is consistent. Your hunger is controlled. Your body feels less reactive, less resistant. And over time, your belly becomes flatter. Not because of extreme effort, but because your body has been quietly doing the work night after night. Fat loss becomes something that happens as a result of alignment, not pressure. And beneath all of this is a simple philosophy. Your body is not controlled by how hard you push it. It is controlled by the signals you give it, the timing you follow, and the environment you create. The more you align with those signals, the less resistance you feel. So tonight, nothing extreme needs to change. No drastic plan. Just a shift in awareness. A recognition that the hours you spend asleep are not empty. They are active, decisive, and powerful. Let your body reach that state. Let it make the decision it has been waiting to make. And if this changed the way you see fat loss, even slightly, then stay with it. Because once you understand what your body does at night, you stop chasing results and start allowing them.